Alright, so this is 1964 Layton trailer camper. We just got home. It's in pretty rough shape. There's seems like a lot of the structure's okay, but there's definitely a lot of junk that's gotta go. We're going to go ahead and rip everything out to start and start cleaning. It smells like people were smoking in here, and there's a lot of just, everything's in really rough shape, but for the most part, we should be able to salvage a lot of it, and it's a added benefit that the air conditioner still works. We're in Florida, so it gets real hot real quick. So we're going to start ripping through this, get it down to the bare bones, kind of uncover all the scary things that are yet to be discovered, and then just start restoring it piece by piece and turn it in. Our hope is a tiny home that we can rent on our Airbnb and also travel with from time to time. So we know for sure that this leaks, this vent, so it's got to go. But I think what we'll do is we'll rip everything out that we can rip out and get this thing down to bare bones so we can look at shower and toilet, bed, seating, table, possibly a bed up here, maybe a kitchen here. It looks like it might make sense to keep the kitchen there, but we're going to play it by ear. So this is day one before we've done anything, and it's currently sitting in our backyard, probably creeping out everyone, but you know, it'll get better day by day. So this is day one. Within a few minutes of starting demo on day one, I pulled apart some of the wall panel and exposed a spider nest with, I would say, a 4 or 5 inch spider. Absolutely terrifying. So if you're getting a camper, go ahead day one, just bug bomb it, and then plan on starting your demo on day two. I ended up, throughout the process, coming across a lot of dead bugs, a lot of what appeared to be maybe rat's nest, and all sorts of unpleasant things behind the walls. So just, bug bomb day one, and kind of put your mind at ease that you're not going to get a big surprise. My strategy on demo was to start with the door, work my way around the front, and then just keep working my way inch by inch down the side, through the back, and then up to the kitchenette area. When I could get a hold of a screw, I would go ahead and take out as many screws as I possibly could, and then everything else ended up being brute force to get it out there. Since there is almost nothing here that we're keeping besides really the windows, I had more flexibility to kind of rip things out forcefully, which is nice. But yeah, when you can, try to get as many of the screws out because they are going to need to come out anyway. So save yourself some time, and if you can get a big piece to come down all at once rather than chipping away at small pieces, you'll save yourself a lot of time. I'm well aware of how weird it is to be vacuuming this early into it, but it was really just so gross. Dead bugs, broken glass, coins, just the weirdest things, that it was kind of nice to actually be able to see what the floor looked like and kind of get some gratification, I guess, that I'm making progress. So didn't really end up doing much, but it was nice at this point in the project. Day one, we're at an unintentional water test here. It definitely looks like this area has some rock, but I can't tell where the water's getting in exactly. But it also looks like it's been kind of fixed before. Definitely, this one was the first for sure rotten piece was the header here on the window. That'll have to go. But there's still a lot of wall here. And there's the obvious holes here and there. But it's dry. So dry is a good thing. So we'll keep digging. This is effectively going to be day 3. Still in tear down mode. Tore down a lot of the front, exposing a lot of the wood rot. Some of the windows are salvageable though. A lot of the mechanisms still work, so we'll be able to keep these. And ordering new panes should be fairly inexpensive. It's a real bad wood rot though. So a lot of this is just barely holding on by paint. Started to rip out this bench, and gonna keep kind of working my way back here. Been using the kitchen setup here as kind of a holding area to hold my stuff. I figured, you know, the AC works, so it's Florida heat. We can still work out here, which is nice. Going to work, I think, spend the day working that way, expose what we can find, hopefully nothing too bad, and then rip this out and try to get this whole side down to nothing. There is some that can be saved here. Some of the wood is decent, so I should be able to hold it together. I'm just hoping that the floor is not a complete mess. Stuff like this is going to 100% need to be replaced. So we'll just need to kind of keep the form, use the metal as a form for cutting our next pieces of wood. Yeah, so still just demoing, going to fill up our trash cans as much as we can, and hopefully no big crazy spiders like we found last time. So here we go. Got the whole side ripped down and removed what used to be seating area here. Been taking out the insulation as careful as possible. It's covered in this brown stuff, which I can only imagine is insects or rodents or something not good. So I've been careful with that, wearing a respirator to be careful. It seems like pretty much all of these have rotten footers completely on each window. This footer doesn't even go anywhere. So we can see that there must have been leaking here, which there's a broken window, so I'm not too surprised. But this whole stud going down is rotten. Even this one's rotten, as well as the footer is connected to nothing. So it's being held up by the aluminum itself. Same story here. There used to be a footer somewhere, but even taking the siding off, there wasn't one there. So someone's done some renovation work on this and just kind of patched it back together, and it had to have been like a decade ago because it's in real rough shape. But header's in good shape, although it's, as you can see, it's so jankety how they supported this thing. It looks like it's almost been built originally by someone who had no clue what they were doing. But then up here, not bad. Now we do have some a leak over here, I can tell. It's rotten, I believe, on both sides. But for the most part, the roof supports are looking okay. And also the steel roof here is not bad. There are some rust spots, and I know that this window is bad. There's a few rust spots, but nothing too bad, which is a huge win. Because with a lot of this, it looks like we'll be able to replace one at a time. If we can get the corners secure, I think that we'll be able to kind of build our way up, and maybe even cover this in a whole one piece of wood, kind of form cut to it. So not bad. Problem is we're running out of trash space already. One of the complaints of doing this when you live in the city is that you can fill up your trash and then you're kind of stuck, and you have to wait some time. So I've kind of put some big stuff and I broke stuff down. Whoever did this, thanks. This stuff has been a nightmare to get off, so I think it's just a matter of working my way through it. I know I've tried removing this stuff before with like a grinding wheel, and it's just as difficult. But overall, I'm relieved to see that things aren't nearly as bad as they could be. So I'm like probably come through and strip the rest of this down, and then we can start working on, this is going to be a pretty big undertaking here, and I'll also be losing my tool bench. But we have, you know, the old rusty grill, the fridge that smells like weed. I'd be curious to see if it even works, because it might. What is this? Wow. Original price $50. So I don't know. It looks really old, but I think that there's zero chance we're gonna keep it. It's rusted out at the bottom too. Start ripping out this and getting everything down to the bare bones. And shout out to whoever did this super sketchy rewiring job. It looks like it's somewhat recent. But yeah, this place was probably a fire hazard waiting to happen. What we had talked about doing, we have this wide open vent here, that at one time I believe there's probably a toilet or something back here. But our hope is we want to convert this area to a, I would say possibly a little further back, maybe where this last stud is here, and then come forward to about here, and the hope is to have a shower toilet combo that we can use, and then move the kitchen over here. I'm not sure if these windows are so low that our countertops would have to be here, which I think is doable. And then that way, this side that has no windows can be where the shower and the toilet go. Because we do want this to be something we can use and possibly rent in the future. So I think just demo continues. We have this is parked in our backyard, and we have rentals here. We have a mother-in-law suite and a main house rental, so we gotta make it look somewhat somewhat presentable. So I think for now I'm stopping the demo, and I'm actually going to work on a sign that we're going to put out here in front of the camper that says what we're doing, so it doesn't look just like a homeless camper parked out here. We're going to call this the Tampa Campa, and I already had a logo made for it, so I think I'm going to work on putting it up on a board that we can hang out here in the yard, so guests that come in and going, they'll see that, they can check out our hashtag and follow along with what we're doing, and know that it's a restoration project, not just an abandoned camper, because it looks like hell. But yeah, overall I'm happy. It could have been a lot worse behind this, and this was the wall that was not exposed. The front was partially exposed, and it's terrible, but it's not, everything's simple enough that we can reframe this up pretty easily, but the back was the big concern. And if anyone who's thinking of doing a camper restoration project, just install an AC in the window like this before you even get started. This has proved to be the only reason that we can do this project right now and not wait several months, because it's probably like 75 degrees in here. But our hope is here, where that vent is, that we will, I'm not sure if it's going to be big enough. We'll have to find, but a small window unit like this that we could have sitting inside, raised up, in that when we park, we can slide it out, and then the vent will open up like that to allow for it, and then we will be able to have the air conditioner whenever we have the power to connect to. We'll be able to have the air conditioner opened up and slid out, and operating like normal, as opposed to spending $300 some, $350 to install a brand new window or a brand new rooftop air conditioning system. So this we should be able to salvage into a normal skylight, unless it's closed up on top. But this way we can save money by using an existing window unit that we can just slide out whenever we need to use it, and then retract back in, and then it should allow for some space about a foot or two underneath it, which could be storage for our battery bank or storage in general. So this is going to be probably the end of day 3 here in the Tampa Campa, and we'll be out here again tomorrow, getting a little more done. With the kitchen ripped out, we really just had the scraps left over that needed to be hauled out, but it kind of exposed a few things. So the wheel well that was underneath the sink has a big hole that needs to be replaced or sealed back up. And then also the electrical. There are outlets that look original, and then there are outlets that look like they were just installed. This was definitely kind of strung together on an as-needed basis. It looks like once the shore power on the outside stopped working, I think they started to kind of jerry-rig it to make it work. But for the most part, had everything off the walls, and kind of sees what we're working with and where we need to start diving in on the supports that need replaced, and kind of all of the messes we uncovered. The people here, they loved this foam sealant. Almost every piece of the camper has foam sealant somewhere, so it's kind of been the go-to tool for fixing it. So we'll be spending a lot of time. It's nice because it lets us know where the problems are, but it's just the stuff's everywhere. So we'll be getting rid of all of that through the process as well. All right, it's been almost a month. I want to say almost a month since we started. I ended up making a sign, like an update sign. It's actually super duper bent. Let me set that down. Oh God, moldy. So still need to demo the front here. It's an old 6-point hookup, propane hookup. This is pretty much toasted. Actually, well, there might be enough there. It's like another propane hookup. And all the lights, everything's just a mess here. Waterproof this guy. This one's the worst, but I think this needs replaced for sure. This is bent out of shape completely. Bumper's gotta go for sure. Luckily we have our replacement bumper. So now outside get nice and rusty the way we like it. Alright, so this is demo day like 6 or 7. It's been so unfun that I think it's been about a month since I started, and I'm finally down to scraps, the last stuff. One of the hurdles, so we have 2 houses. This is parked at a rental property across the street from where we actually live. So one of the issues for us has been that we don't have a dumpster. We have 2 standard trash cans, which they can hold quite a bit, but we can't stuff them every time because we do have people staying here. So we'd fill up both trash cans, wait for trash day, and then we're able to come in here and remove a little bit more. So a lot of what we had to do is take the wood, cut it down into these tiny pieces that fit in, and then honestly, like, my biggest thing has been, I know it's going to be like 100 degrees in here. We're in Florida. It's hot nonstop. So finally installed a Wemo switch there on the AC, so I can set this thing to set the AC to get started before I come here and stop giving myself excuses. But yeah, most of what we're working with here is, you can kind of tell, a little bit of scraps here and there. Nothing too much, and we've got some bigger pieces here. Nothing too much. So we're gonna rip out the rest of this. Finally, I know I still have some scraps hanging here. And then the goal is, oh my gosh, this whole thing. Oh my God, it's like held together by paint practically. So the goal is, we want to get it completely empty here. So the goal is to get everything completely empty, completely out of here and cleaned up as best we can. After demo, we're going to move on to the floor. I need to see how the walls are connected to the trailer itself. I'm a little nervous that I'm going to have to take everything apart is what I'm concerned about. But we want to get down to the actual trailer itself, see what kind of shape it's in. Assuming it's in, once we get the floor removed here, my hope is that I'll be able to sand down the trailer, sand it down, get primer on it, and then if any spots need welding, I can handle it right then and there. Then we'll be, during that process, putting it up on jacks, and during that time we can take the tires off to get them looked at. They look like a nightmare. It drove here slowly. The problem is the whole thing, if you can see, it's like this thing is barely hooked together. So once I can figure out what the deal with the floor is, there's obviously, you can see there's layer after layer. So it's like, is that floor? Was that the floor? Is this the floor? Is this the floor? Is this the? So it's like, right now my head's nearly touching the ceiling, but it's very possible that we're standing on 2 inches of floor here, which honestly would be kind of nice to get a little space. So yeah, ripping this thing apart. This is the scary part. This is getting down and seeing what the floor is like. Obviously, the rest of this is it needs so much repair. But the scary part is with the floor and seeing how it's connected to the trailer is that if I have to take if I have to take everything off, this is going to become a much bigger project much quicker. As of right now, my hope is that I can replace the pieces that need replaced, and then we can go along our way. If it gets to where if it gets to be where we're actually going to have to take the entire thing apart, then it becomes like a complete rebuild, where we're gonna get it down to a trailer, install a floor, then start working on the walls, and that sounds fucking terrible. Okay, finish demo, get everything out of here, and then we'll figure it out. So demo is complete for the most part. We're going to move on. The next video is going to be covering ripping up the floor and then getting the trailer taken care of. So we'll be removing all the rust from the trailer, putting primer, and then hopefully just replacing the floor and not having to take all of the walls off. But we'll see. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.